So you think you know the story of King Tutankhamun, right? The boy king, the incredible treasure. But what if I told you the real story isn't about what was found, but what was missed? We're going to dive right in because honestly, new technology is completely rewriting the book on one of history's most famous figures.
You can just picture it, can't you? It's 1922, Howard Carter makes a tiny hole, holds up a candle, and just sees gold everywhere. I mean, what a moment. It was the discovery of a lifetime, a treasure trove sealed for over 3,000 years. But here's the kicker. What did he miss? And that's the question that is just electrifying archaeologists today. You see, for all the amazing stuff he found, Carter was kind of working in the dark. Literally. He had shovels and candles. He couldn't see through solid rock. But guess what? We can. All right, first up, the high-tech hunt for secrets hidden right behind the walls of the tomb. And believe me, the tech they're using now is pretty much science fiction come to life. Just think about the difference here. Carter had, shovels and picks. Now, Egyptologist Alia Ismail's team comes in with 3D laser scanners and ground-penetrating radar. They're creating this insanely detailed digital map of the entire tomb, and it's letting them see things that were totally invisible before. Okay, so let's zoom in on the north wall in the burial chamber. To you and me and to everyone for the last century, it just looks like, well, a wall. A beautifully painted wall, sure, showing Tut's journey into the afterlife. It looks totally solid.
But when you use those 3D scans to basically peel back the paint digitally, whoa, something else appears. Faint lines, ghostly outlines. And they look an awful lot like a doorway that's been plastered over and painted shut. No way Carter could have spotted that.
So you see lines that look like a door. But how do you know what's behind it without, smashing through the wall? You use something called ground-penetrating radar. It's basically like an ultrasound for rock. And the latest scans, they show a void, an empty space. It could be a whole hidden corridor just sitting there. And this, as you can imagine, has sent shockwaves through the world of Egyptology. Because here's the thing about Tut's tomb. It's always been a bit off. It's tiny for a pharaoh, and the layout is weird. It turns right, which is typical for a queen's tomb, not left like a king's. So if there really is another chamber, who's in it? Well, get ready for this, because the leading theory is absolutely mind-blowing. The person they think is buried there is none other than Queen Nefertiti, Tut's stepmother, one of the most powerful and famous women in all of ancient history, and her tomb has never, ever been found. And there's some pretty compelling visual evidence to back this up. So look at the famous bust of Nefertiti. See that really distinct line of her lips? Okay, now look at the painting of Tutankhamun on his tomb wall. It's almost the exact same lip line, and you don't really see that on other images of him. The theory is that this tomb was originally for Nefertiti, and when Tut died suddenly, they just repurposed it, painted over her face to make it look like him. Okay, so secrets in the tomb are one thing, but what about the man himself? Our next big mystery is all about power. How does a young, physically frail kid command one of the most powerful empires on Earth? Well, a big part of the answer seems to be crocodiles, or rather, the crocodile god, Sobek. This was not a friendly deity. Sobek was all about raw power, the ferocity of the Nile's top predator. He was the symbol of the pharaoh's might and protection. So, way out at a place called Gebel el-Sisila, a team led by archaeologists Maria Nielsen and John Ward were excavating a temple that King Tut had restored. And right in the middle of it, they found something they just couldn't explain, this enormous, deep pit that would have been filled with water. So what in the world was this giant pit for? The theory is just wild. Imagine priests standing at the edge, making offerings, to live crocodiles swimming down below. These crocs were seen as living gods, the embodiment of Sobek on Earth. Can you imagine the message that sends? It's a raw, powerful display of control over nature's most terrifying predator. And this was just genius political PR. Tut wasn't a big, strong pharaoh. He was young, he had health problems. So by linking himself to the terrifying power of Sobek, he was basically telling everyone, don't worry, I've got the baddest god in Egypt on my side. I am strong, I am your protector. It was a brilliant way to secure his power. Of course, projecting that kind of power costs money. A lot of money. Or, in this case, a lot of gold. And that brings us to our third big secret. How did they get all that gold in the first place? I mean, just look at his famous death mask. That thing is solid gold. It weighs more than 9 kilograms. That's like holding a heavy bowling ball made of pure gold. And that's just one item. The amount of gold in that tomb is just astronomical. But here's the puzzle. The gold mines weren't anywhere near the Nile. They were hundreds of kilometers away, across one of the most hostile, unforgiving deserts on the entire planet. So how in the world did they get all that treasure back to the capital? Well, archaeologists have finally pieced it together. They found a whole network of forts and rest stops out in the desert, and each one had this secret ingredient, a deep well, water. In the desert, water is more precious than gold. These forts were spaced about a day's walk from each other, creating a lifeline, a safe path for the gold caravans to travel. This thing was an absolute marvel of engineering. You can think of it like a golden highway that literally funneled wealth from the middle of nowhere straight to the pharaoh. It shows that the real treasure wasn't just the gold itself, but the brilliant, sophisticated organization it took to get it. So let's put it all together. You got a potential hidden tomb, a crazy crocodile cult for PR, and an incredible golden highway. What does this all tell us? It means Tut's story is being completely rewritten. The man behind that famous golden mask was so much more than we thought. He wasn't just a boy king. He was a shrewd ruler, using religion to project strength. He was a brilliant logistician, running a massive supply chain to keep his empire rich. And yeah, he's still a huge mystery, because his own tomb might be hiding the biggest secret of all. So that story you learned in history class, it was really just chapter 1. The truth is, the book on Tutankhamun is still being written. Every new discovery adds another page, and it feels like the real investigation is just getting started. And that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? If they finally get the green light to look behind that wall, and if Nefertiti really is in there, what other treasures, and more importantly, what other truths are waiting to be discovered? What else don't we know?